Got set on fire by the Imperial Dynasty and just got smoked. Let's get it. Y'all heard the intro. It's the king. And today's video is straight flames. Before we get into the video though, you guys can start by slapping that like button for me. Greatly helps the channel grow. And if you are new to the channel, smack that subscribe button. Division videos, let's plays, and different video games are uploaded on this channel constantly. Now let's get straight into this build. As you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail, let's start with the main attraction. This bad Imperial Dynasty. Now, how do you get the Imperial Dynasty, you ask? You play Vivian Conley's level. Might not be believed, no cap though, I got mine on story. Talking about it to my cousin. Wasn't expecting to get it, was telling him about it, helping him level up to level 40. Sure enough, bam, she dropped it. I couldn't believe it, on story mode too, on story difficulty. And it's not bad, it's not a bad roll either. So let's go over real quick. We got the status effect on it, hazard protection on it, and to see what the talent, how it works. Dragon's Glare, while in combat, applies burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters. Cooldowns at 40 seconds, just for a few hours though, because once title update 9 drops, that's going to get a buff. Rather than the 40 seconds, it's coming down to 35 seconds. Not nothing crazy, but hey, a buff is a buff. And as much as I love using this holster, I don't mind it coming at all. Again, you're gonna see the theme on this build is straight status effect, armor regen. Yes, you guys hear me preach, armor regen works just as well as patience. My old Division 2 content creators will remember patience. Lovely talent, but I'm getting off track. Let's get back into this build. Status effect, again, 8.5, not bad. Let's get into the mask. I'm using a Hanayuki. Hanayuki gives you the 10% skill haste, which helps because we're going to be using our skills constantly when it comes to this build. Look at armor regen, maxed roll, status effect, max roll. That is a godly piece of a mask gear right there. And when it comes to the mod, you can use whatever you want. I haven't found one maxed out yet when it comes to DPS, but I'm using the headshot damage, gives you 8.1%. That's not bad. So again, really good mask. Love using it with this build. We'll get into the gloves. You're going to see that mostly the concept of this build is going to be core attribute skill tier, but this is the only gear piece that I'm going to be using armor. And you see it's maxed out 170,000. Armor regen is damn near maxed out, and so is status effect 9.9. Status effect, look at when I use my golden gear, 10%. So status effect is really pushed on this one, and armor regen, like I told you, one of my favorite attributes to use. Knee pad, same thing, status effect all the way, 10%. I haven't been able to max out that armor regen because I haven't found one to put into my library to max it out yet, but once that gets done, that's going to be a god roll piece of a knee pads right there. Now the Alps Summit isn't really helping me with the repair skill because I'm not running repair skill, so that's a piece that I feel like I'm not getting something used out of, so that can be switched up and fixed. But for right now, again, once I get that armor regen maxed out, it's gonna be golly of a gear piece. Again, we'll get into chest piece, explosive damage, skill haste. You're gonna see why explosive damage is important in just a second when I get into my skills. But again, you see skill haste helps with the refresh and cooldown on those skills, so we can constantly just spam those skills out, because that's what we're going to get most of our damage from. Status effect, as you can see, is maxed out. Headshot damage, again, I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with a 10% maxed out headshot damage on the gear. I know it doesn't go too much with the theme that we're using with status effect and armor regen, but again, it works out, and nothing's wrong with more DPS. And like I said, from the China Light, we're getting the explosive damage, skill haste. Let's get into the talent. Now this is where the status effect comes into play, because now we're using trauma. Applies blind to an enemy hit to the head, cool down again, and that's 30 seconds. Applies bleed to an enemy hit in the chest, cool down on that is 30 seconds. So that's more status that we're leaving whenever we're either playing with NPCs on PvE or we're in the dark zone on PvP. Status left, and that's what we're constantly working towards. Backpack's a nice piece of equipment right here. Strategic alignment. That's where I get my second piece from the China Light. Again, skill, haste, explosive damage, whichever way you want to look at it. Core attribute, you see a skill tier, and status effect, damn near maxed out, 9.7. Armor regen, once I find one that's maxed out for my library, which I think I do have one, so I could actually max that armor regen all the way out. That's going to get maxed out in a bit. And you see skill haste 10.7 when it comes to the mod. So again, the theme, status effect, armor regen, status effect, armor regen. Now let's get into, the talent. Perfect shock and awe. Now this is where it really gets fun. Applying a status effect to an enemy increases total skill damage by 20%. Also repair, but we're not running any repair, so that doesn't really work. You know, this has nothing to do with us. By 20% for 27 seconds. So China Imperial Dynasty pops off, and we get this fire status effect. We shoot somebody in the head or in the chest, blind or bleed, status effect. Another good reason why I use the pestilence, we hit somebody with the pestilence and they get the plague of outcast, status effect. And that's what props this, perfect shock and awe. Once we hit that, these skills, which I'm about to go over, the skill damage goes up to 20%. Let's start with the sticky bomb, because this is one of my favorite ones. As you saw from the beginning of the clip of the video, how I shot that like a gun. Man, this is why I love this skill. Not too many people use it because they think you have to sit there and hold it and shoot it, but you can tap it, and as long as you're aiming towards the enemy, you more than likely will hit them. Stick it on them, and then boom, it's a wrap. Let's get into the damage. Look, I got it to skill tier 5, so damn near 6 tier skill with cooldown on 23 seconds, damage 3 million. And look at the duration on that because of the status effect. 37.6 seconds. We got that person burning. And everyone knows whenever NPCs are on fire, they do all that funny little dancing and can't really shoot you unless you get really close. They might blind fire you, but besides that, it's a wrap. It's done for them. So that's why I love using that sticky bomb. You could switch the sticky bomb and use the Stinger Hive, set them on bleed. That's another good one as well. But again, I just like using the sticky bomb. Not too many people use it. This was, of course, obvious. Fire starter chem launcher. This is a must, and this is where you get most of your burns from. 7 ammo. You can constantly just light people up with this. The damage on it's on 440, so damn near 450. It's bad. This is just ridiculous. And you can see what, if you guys want to see what I have for my mods on it. I got 5.6 burn strength, and then I got an extra ammo on that. And if you want to see what I have on this one, look at this, skill haste 4.6, and the damage on it 6.9. So I mean we are pretty deadly when it comes to this. I already went over the pestilence, why I use that. Plague of outcast leaves them with the status. Again, you saw what we're all about on this build, status. And then I use my everlasting gaze. Perfect perpetuation. Headshots grant 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. So you hit somebody in the head, that's 50% more status effect that thing is going to go ahead and on damage and duration. So I mean, we are just going crazy now. If I hear someone's and again, for the specialization, everyone knows, if you know this skill tree, I mean, we're just setting things on fire longer. The fire is stronger, so that's why I use firewall in the flamethrower as my specialization. Now again, if someone's like, oh, it's not enough life, I'm going down too quickly, don't worry about it. I got something for you. I use this mask. I use a 3-piece golden gear. 3-piece gives you status effect, which is what we're still working with, armor regen, and total armor. And each one of my golden gear and my golden gear armor, I got 170,000, 170,000, 170,000, 170,000 on each of them, all maxed out. And look, we'll start with the mask. 170,000 armor, status effect 9.6, and armor regen. I haven't even put my utility on this, which is skill haste. Where am I taking that off of? Let's put more skill haste on that. So as you can see, look at that. Same thing with the backpack. This is where the talent changes. You can use Perfectly Wicked. Applying a status effect increases total weapon damage by 18%. So if you want more DPS when it comes to your weapon, you can switch that Perfectly Shocked and Awe over to Perfectly Wicked and get more weapon damage. But again, 170,000 on the armor, max roll on the armor regen, and the status effect isn't that high, but hey, we're getting status effect from the golden gear as well. And then again, we'll just keep the same gloves, but we get the 170,000 armor. But what I want you to notice is look at the armor. 1.3 mil versus what I had before when I'm running all 5-piece skill tier of 903,000 armor. 1.3 million. So I mean, there's different ways you can run it. You won't hit as hard when it comes to your skills this way, as we all know, because I mean, that's just how the game works. But if you're feeling you're going down too quickly and you want to still play it this way but just have a little bit more armor, I would suggest getting a 3-piece golden gear, running another 3-piece, because you're going to have your Imperial Dynasty as your core attribute. As skill, again, another 2-piece of skill, whichever you like, but I run it this way, and you'll have more armor. I mean, again, weapons stay the same, and yep, that's the build. I mean, go ahead, try it out, test it out, change it the way you guys like it. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna put some more gameplay at the end of the video. Again, if you guys are new, subscribe to the channel. Videos drop constantly. Smash that like button for me, it's greatly appreciated. Anything you have questions on or comments, please leave them in the comments below. You already know how this thing goes. It's the king, and I'm out. Get out of here, buddy. Look at all the different statuses that keep